Ready?
I guess.
Okay.
I might go into like country accent at any time because I'm partly from Tennessee and I'm about to move to Tennessee. And last weekend I was with all my family who have married Mississippians, Arkansas, and they are like thick
And as
country
you rub it
voices.
off.
And they're kind of just in my
That's so
head right
funny.
now.
I've
It's
heard
fresh.
that from you, and I was like, where does that come from? Okay.
Yep. Every
Yeah.
summer we'd be in Memphis.
I was like, I thought
growing
you're
up.
from California. But
I don't hear it or notice it, but every few months someone will be like, "Are
I'm
you
like,
from
what
the
is
South?"
that?
And I'm like, "Am I from the South?" Partially, I guess. Yeah.
I
You're not wrong.
guess. There it is. Taylor. Okay, we're going to get started.
Take what you get.
Hello, I'm Amy. I'm really glad you're here. This is Amy's Wild Cards. This is the podcast where I interview people who I think are my friends with a deck of cards filled with random questions I have created. This deck will be shuffled at the beginning of each interview, and whatever questions come up and in whatever order is completely up to fate. We're gonna laugh, maybe cry, possibly be offended. Let's get into it. My friend Taylor is here. Hi, Taylor.
Aloha.
And now we're Hawaiian.
I didn't realize that we had begun the podcast
Oh yeah.
at that point.
What did you think was happening?
There was never a 3, 2, 1.
Oh, you wanted me to count you down. I was like, oh, we're starting.
We're
I
in
thought
this
that was
thing.
it. Yeah. No, we're going.
Wow.
And I'm already shuffling your questions for you. We definitely won't be able to get through all of them. Some episodes we get through the most I've gotten through is half the questions.
Okay.
But some people have only gotten through 5.
Mm.
So we'll just see what
The
happens
Lord's
for you.
gonna have it how He wants it.
That's exactly right. So I'm going to give you an option.
Okay.
You can either tell me when to stop shuffling or I can choose.
You can stop now.
Stop right now.
Mhm.
Ooh, risky. Okay.
There's always someone who doesn't shuffle so well.
Yeah,
In
that's
the
me.
group.
I'm that person.
I'm often in the bottom 3, I'll say.
Of the shufflers?
Yeah. I don't do the tricks and
I try and they don't go well.
I just bend the cards up.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
First question. Oh, this is a strong first question. Are your parents proud of you?
I'll give that a firm yes. Yeah.
They should be. If they weren't, I'd be surprised.
I think they did their best, which didn't include, a huge abundance of options.
Mm.
So they just did their best and fortunately set us up to do better than they ever could.
Mhm.
So here we are. I'd say my brothers and I are all doing it well. But yeah, to answer your question, yes, they're proud.
Great. I love that. Okay. Next question. Who gave you permission?
Oh, that's it?
That's it.
Who gave me permission? Well, the Lord, of course.
Mm.
Yeah. Gave me the energy to wake up today and do things
me about it.
freely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm living in a place of the world where I have access. So that was all the Lord, and luckily through Jesus, I'm able to see what's the best way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Great. Love it. I don't know why. When I wrote this question, I added this question in today, by the way. And I just had a feeling it was going to come up for you. I don't know why. Okay, did you shave your mustache before you came here today?
It's a negative.
Yeah, that's great. I did mine.
Only tweezers would be required for
Okay,
that.
that's
for
great.
Me, which my dad has really blessed me. He has no hair on his body.
Opposite for my family. Yeah, that's great.
Hey, so tweezers would be my route and negative on today.
Great. Love that for you. Why, Taylor, the questions that come up for some people, I don't want to ask you these questions.
You wrote them down?
I did. I don't know. Just certain friends I thought they'd work better with.
Okay.
And now I'm bashful to ask you this because we don't know each other that well, but we're about to.
Here we go.
Why do you think some people like butts so much? Follow-up question. Do you like butts?
I do like butts.
Yeah.
I cannot lie.
Oh, boy.
The central point of the body, which holds so much power,
Yeah.
or not.
Very balanced. It's a balance point as well.
It's
Yeah.
front, back, it's
pivotal.
left, right. Absolutely. So it's funny because I come from a mother who's got like no glute. Bless her heart.
She's doing her
Thin,
best.
strong young thing, no butt. Whereas my dad is this like unit.
Yeah.
I mean, big African curves.
Yeah.
Power.
Love it.
Strength.
Love
and
it so much.
He's worked on it since
Yeah.
day one. So, just being an athlete, paying attention to how the body,
Yeah.
works and how it all, works together. Just knowing that's a central piece of like how you're going to move, how you're going to experience like your physical, body in life. The glute can change everything. That's like the difference between a hike sucking or a hike being like, I feel powerful and strong. I love this.
This is true. Yeah. Did you see that one movie? I think it was called Fresh. Have you heard of it?
Negative.
It's like a horror film. I think it's technically horror. It came out on like Hulu maybe a couple years ago, but it's about a guy who ends up eating women that he holds captive, and he like this one woman he starts like cutting pieces off of her butt, and he's eating that. But then she escapes and she's running away. Spoiler alerts. But I'm like, how is she running? She got her butt taken away. And I just feel like that's a really big plot hole.
Straight up. I mean, the pain that she must have been in.
Yeah. I'm like, girl, you can't run like that without a butt. That doesn't work. It doesn't work. Taylor, are you okay?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
That's great.
I would say that's a blessing that I'm okay.
Totally.
And it's not like it's an easy okay, but it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm right here. I mean, buzzing around LA is like, it's not for the faint.
Yeah.
So I don't think anyone's really thriving unless they've got a driver and, I don't know, a chef.
You're not thriving unless you have, a personal
it's just
driver.
Exhausting living here. So,
yeah,
I find myself definitely okay. Some days up, some days down, but I'm definitely okay.
Yeah,
proudly.
That's good. Are you looking forward to like, I don't know, what part of Tennessee are you going to be like, in the country, in the city, in between?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
I've got an uncle who just left Tennessee for Mississippi, which is a half hour down the road.
Okay.
And he'll be acres from his nearest neighbor.
Ooh.
So I look forward to that.
Okay.
And then I've got relatives that are just east of downtown and kind of in the suburbs. So the urban option is there, the suburban option is there, and then the stray sticks are there too.
Yeah.
So
are you looking forward to that, like, environmental change?
very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, to just be around more trees and less concrete, less buildings, less advertising.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Less cars.
Yeah.
Right now it's like more.
Right.
And I'm trying to shrink it down here
Yes.
so I can, just be
Yeah.
better than okay.
Yes. Absolutely. I think it's be so good for the kiddos too. Some of my best memories are like spending time like out in like upstate New York visiting family, and they had like lots and lots of land and like a farm, and then some family like in Northern California we'd go visit, and they had a lot of land as well.
It just feels good to be amongst more nature than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. Taylor, I don't know why the Lord is like bringing these questions up. I'm getting uncomfortable, and you're fine. Taylor, why are you so obsessed with me?
I love this question. Amy, it's because
you're not like I'm not.
Right? Oh no, girl. No, I'm on this couch for a reason. I would say I'm obsessed with you because you are so confidently you.
Oh.
And that is sort of rare for one to be like consistently confident. So I respect that. I move towards that. I applaud that. And that would be the A1 reason, but I could probably give you a list.
Oh, my cheeks are from smiling.
I mean, you're crushing.
Thank you.
You're doing well with.
Thank you.
On your self journey, on this life journey.
Yeah.
Like we said earlier, it's not easy, but you're doing it well. So
thank you.
Thanks for having me here. This is a nice outlet you've created.
Thank you. I can tell already our episode is going to be delightful.
Delightful.
It's going to be delightful. Okay. I think you'll have a good answer for this. When was the last time someone told you they love you?
This morning, my husband.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, he is just a honey. He's
Is he
sweet.
good at like saying it every day?
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
multiple
and I feel
times
like
a day?
a lot of people just get in that flow of love ya,
Yes.
throwing it out.
Yes.
Not really having a lot of weight behind
Exactly.
it. Like, they mean it, but there wasn't weight and intention behind that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm guilty of it as well.
Sure.
But yeah, I would say every day he's good about it.
Mm-hmm.
Our whole family's pretty good about it because, yeah, I mean, just loss alone has just kind of sets it in you as like, did I give you the day? I think that often.
It's so true. I know.
What if it's tomorrow? Like, I better go clean something.
You grew okay, sure. You grew up Christian, right? Or no? I can't remember. Okay.
I would say I wasn't bought in, but I was raised that way.
Okay. So being raised Christian, I don't know if this was your experience because I was for sure, is like you're very like mortality is mentioned a lot and like eternity and dying, what happens after we die. Like that's like a very like top of the mind thing in a lot of ways, especially like I feel like there was a lot of like rapture talk and like Left Behind became popular when we were a little younger. So for me, those thoughts of like, yeah, it could be the last day, you just don't know, like is more common, I found, than a lot of my friends who didn't grow up Christian. Have you found that in your friend groups? Or have you talked about that with them?
Well, I mean, I fully agree with you that was top of mind growing up. And we went to a Lutheran elementary school where it was like heaven, heaven, heaven.
Right.
Whereas one might not care about heaven if they're just living in the now and not really giving credit to any one source for life. But anyhow, I've honestly lost the question.
So just like if you found other friends of yours who like didn't grow up Christian, if they thought about their mortality as much as like you and your Christian friends did.
I don't think so.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting.
You're onto something.
Yeah, I think so. Thank you so much. Who is the funniest person on this couch?
Well, funny is different to everyone.
It sure is.
Yeah, I would say perfect tie.
Oh,
yeah, girl.
Good for you.
I know you're funny. I know I'm funny. We're both funny.
I love it.
But in different ways, you
know?
Yeah,
we have different senses of humor.
There are comedians I don't find funny.
Sure.
So
there's plenty of,
I'm going to give us both credit on this one.
Great. Love that. How do you think this interview is going?
Fine and well. I had zero expectations on where this was going. You didn't give me a hunch on anything. I'm like, we're going to be talking about animals today. I don't know. So, fine and well.
Great.
How about you?
I think it's going really well.
All right. Round of applause.
I love that this also came up for you. Are you a good dad?
No, I'm not. I leave that to Dad because those thoughts just don't be coming naturally. Obviously, I mean, I'm pretty femmy. I mean, I don't know. I'm both for sure. I'm for sure both. Anyone that knows me, I mean, look at my outfit. But when it comes to like approaching a child, a dad's mind is about 180 different than a mom's.
How would you describe a dad's mind?
I would say that strength is more of a common thread in their thoughts or critiques of their children. Like
strength in what sense?
Integrity, doing the right thing. Let's see. Yeah, really respecting, honoring, coming with a good heart posture. Protective is coming up for me. Whereas I'm more like, I would rather you feel sad if you want to feel sad. Like, come give me a hug. Like, let's be physical and, like, get through this together. Whereas Dad is more like, no, you're going to figure this out right here, right now, because that's what's right.
Like the toughness, the resiliency, and then more of, like, the comfort and the nurturing. Okay, I got you. Interesting. Yeah, I think sometimes, like Like, I'm not big on gender roles. I think, like, however it works out is however it works out. Some people's personalities just fit differently no matter the gender.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely think there's a problem that I've seen in my own upbringing and other people. It's like when one parent, no matter the gender, tries to play all the roles, especially when the other parent's present.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that's even little. So I got to experience that growing up. Have you ever love bombed somebody?
Love bomb. I feel like I've been love bombed.
Right, exactly. Everyone's always like, I've been love bombed,
Yeah.
but no one's ever like, I've been the love bomber.
I'm thinking of like 35 little African kids sprinting towards me for like hugs and cheers and being like, what's happening? I love this.
Yeah.
Have I ever love bombed? I would say yeah.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, I've love bombed folks for sure. I'm very physical again with how I express and connect. And so I feel like I've definitely encouraged like, let's all get this person. You know, cover them with love, hug them, cheer for them. I'm thinking of sports, big huddles, celebration moments, a new baby. We're coming in like, all for the first time to meet. Yeah, I've definitely love bombed.
But so when I don't know about you, but when I think of love bombing, I think about it in like the really toxic sense, like when narcissists do it and they love bomb you.
I've never heard this term. What on earth is a love bomb? You got to explain that first and foremost.
So, I was like, I don't know if you want to be admitting to being such a love bomber. So, but I love your interpretation of it. That's great. That's a really precious interpretation.
I love bath bombs.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
It was along the same lines.
Absolutely. It's not. So love bombing is this really awful thing that usually narcissists will do, and it's people who usually the term is used in like romantic relationship settings.
Okay.
So like if you start dating someone and then they're just like showering you with like love, attention, affection to the point where you aren't seeing their flaws and you might be missing some red flags, missing out on some toxicity. And then as the relationship goes on, those things dwindle and then the abuse starts to increase. That's like kind of like a general sense of it.
Had no idea.
Yeah. But I like your idea of it. But your idea of it is like really precious and like kind and loving. But but then there's like the dark side to love bombing where it's then like you never see that again. Like that's just like at the front and it's to manipulate.
Well, manipulation is involved with a lot of relationships, and luckily I feel like I've had a good radar of one who isn't aware of how to like treat me best. And I ran quick.
Yeah, that's good.
Probably because it wasn't a love bomb situation, but my mom and dad weren't hot for each other ever.
Yeah,
so,
mine either.
Yeah, I saw more clashing and crashing than, let's hold hands and be sweet.
Never saw my parents hold hands. Never saw them kiss. Yeah, none of that.
I would agree.
Yeah,
that's kind of wild now that I think back to it. Neither one of those things.
Yeah.
Rarely a kiss. I think it was just because they knew we were all watching.
Yeah.
It was all bad. Yeah, it was all bad for them. So I feel like I had a good radar of like, this doesn't feel right. I'm going to go hard left.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's
love
really
bomb.
good.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah, look it up after because I'm curious if you get a different perspective on it.
Right on.
Okay. We're going to do maybe like one or two more before the final question. Oh, I'm so glad I get to ask you this. Would you rather be funny, smart, or incredibly good looking?
Smart. Yeah, it was my first thought. I was battling with funny, but definitely smart. I mean, you gotta know the ways.
Yeah.
To get up, to get forward,
But sometimes I feel like it's a burden to be smart and like know too much. You can get depressed easier. Just like so aware of the world and how like awful it can be.
That's why you got to find funny friends.
Yeah. Funny is important too.
For sure.
Smart. Okay, I like it. What hill will you die on?
Hill. Probably a very tall hill in the north side of Kauai.
I like that you and my one other friend that got that question took it literally. Because I was like, you know the term, like, I'll die on this hill, or like,
I've
you know
never
what I'm
heard
talking
that
about?
term. Here we are on
Maybe-
two different boats.
Two different
Which hill?
hills.
What hill did your friend say otherwise?
She also
She's
took
like,
it literally.
Upper Cedar.
So the term, like, like, I'll die on that hill is like something, it's like when you have like a stance or a position on something and you are unwavering and you are just like, no matter
Okay.
what anybody says, like, this is the thing, and
Word.
you'll stand behind it to your death, essentially.
All right.
And it's not always like super serious things people choose, but I don't know.
Well,
It
I
can
would
vary.
say this one's kind of serious. The hill I would die on is, well, how do I word this? I will die fighting for a revolution on birth and how
Oh.
babies are brought into the world. Because it
Oh.
shouldn't be in a hospital, and
Oh.
it shouldn't be for pay, and
Mm.
it shouldn't be over calculated and controlled. That's where I'm at with it,
Oh.
firmly.
Oh, that's great. That's a great answer to that
That's a whole
question.
other podcast.
It is a whole other podcast, and it's very interesting, and I didn't see it coming. I love that. Oh, my brain, like, I can't even ask one question because I'm just like, dee, 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 dee.
Well, I'd love to know what hill you would intend to die on.
Oh, so what comes to mind, because I think there could be so many things. What comes to mind for me is like I have like a motto I live by.
All right.
I don't do it perfectly, but it's like a motto I have. So the hill I would die on is that if it's funny, do it. So like a very like less serious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah.
That's a lighthearted motto.
Yeah, but it can be dangerous. Like sometimes
sure.
it's not your idea of funny is not somebody else's idea
Yeah.
of funny.
I'm thinking of Johnny Knoxville right now.
Yes, love Jackass.
Yeah.
And I've definitely had like being funny got me in trouble. So okay, I'm gonna go back to what you said because it's really interesting. We're almost out of time, but so word it again. Like you would die on the hill of like natural
of a birth revolution.
birth revolution,
Mm-hmm.
and then like, can you just go back through like your beliefs on that real quick? I'm really curious. This is really interesting to me.
Yeah, I would say that birth is something that we are taught to view as medical.
It's very clinical when it
Yeah.
should be more.
It's the opposite of something to be quantified or controlled
And monetized.
Correct.
Right. Got it.
And this is something as natural as swallowing or peeing or pooping.
Uh-huh.
They just happen. You don't need to
Right.
be taught.
Right.
And so there's a very small percentage of things, a very small likelihood of something going wrong in birth if you are prepared and you feel safe and you are honestly left alone. It's a physiological ability.
Yes.
It's not something that should involve signing paperwork or going up elevators or
Yeah.
having full conversations. No, birth is unlike any other function in your whole life. And there are hormones and processes that happen naturally that can only work if you're left alone to feel safe and for the process to go on. But you're getting in the way of things if you're using that right side of your brain.
And then did you have these views before you had your children?
I wouldn't say so. No,
Yeah.
with each child, I gained a little more wisdom
Yeah.
and felt a little more uncomfortable with the hospital routines.
Yeah.
And then I took a deep dive into research, and it was clear as day to me that we're not doing this well. We're not doing this right,
Yeah.
and this is a sensitive thing, that your entry to the world. Just the love that should be there, the comfort that should be there, the peace that should be there as you arrive into the world is just ripped from you in a hospital setting, if you ask me.
So true.
Yeah, so I don't regret giving birth twice in 2 different hospitals, but also I would never do that again. Now
Right.
that I know what I know.
Right.
And, to watch those profit and just take advantage of this sensitive, like, really
Vulnerable.
special.
So vulnerable.
Yeah,
Yes.
and what a thing to welcome a child into the earth. This is
Yeah.
like one of the biggest days of your life,
And then there's like scissors and all these people, and they're like, okay, take the baby, cut the
Yeah,
thing,
it's
do
cold and the
da.
lights are way too bright and
Yeah.
there's no fresh air and
Right.
it's no bueno.
Wow. Okay. So we are literally in our last 3 minutes. So I'm going to ask you our final question that I ask all my guests.
Come on.
If this is the only surviving audio clip of you left in existence, what do you want people to know? 2 minutes, 10 seconds.
Well, they should know that God the Father made them with purpose and intention, with so much love you couldn't ever comprehend, and that should be reciprocated, that you should know, I love you because you love me, you gave me life, so I'm going to contribute to you as you see fit, which is all in the Bible. Yeah, that's really quite simply it, and that God killed a piece of himself for you, and it's never coming back, but it's something that continues to give and give and give through each one of us as we acknowledge this good news that God loves me so much that he's worth, dedicating a whole life to. And it's going to take shape in different ways, but if everything you do is for God, it's going to be good in the end.
Yeah. Okay. Really quickly, follow-up question. How there's not enough time for this, but how did you come to just like that strong, like knowing and sureness in that feeling and thought? Because I struggle, like as a Christian, like I really struggle. I've had my faith in and out for years with a big break away from it. So in like our last minute, like how have you become like so solid and sure in that?
I think the Lord has told me in 100+ different ways. And it's always when I'm feeling like I need more convincing that I'll pray for more convincing.
Yeah.
And then it'll arrive. And I'll say, you were listening all along.
So what has some of that looked like for you? Like the convincing, for example?
Blessings, a work opportunity that I didn't even seek out or ask for, and it falls in my lap. And then I don't have to stress for the next 3 months for my family and I.
Yeah.
Or it's, you won this. It's like, whoa, I didn't know how much I needed that. Or,
just like being very like taken care of and by God.
Yeah. Like my security in life, he's constantly restoring in all different ways. People, acts, tangible things. New thoughts or perspectives on things. I'm like, oh, that came from you because I was set on that one a few weeks ago.
I love it. Amazing. Thank you, Taylor. I appreciate you. I could have
you.
definitely like dove into so many more things, but we're out of time.
Wild Amy.
I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next week. Bye.